Okay, to go into the next section, which deals with coordinate planes, we have a coordinate plane right here. And with a coordinate plane, we always start with the center here, which is called the origin. And we move from there. So we can move, we have the x, and then this one is the y axis, so x-axis and y-axis. And we're simply going to put numbers onto these lines. When we do that, this right here is the one, any point here would point to two positive numbers. So this would be a positive here. And this one right here, we would go backwards first and then up. So therefore, if we put a point here, it would point to a positive number and a negative. And since x comes first, it would be negative first and then the positive y second. Okay? This one right here, if we put a point in here, it would go to the negative and a negative. So that's just going to be two negatives. And then this one here, a point here, would point to the x to a positive, and on the y it would point to a negative. So we have all of these right here. So when we give coordinates for these, since these are both positives, this is quadrant 1. Then we basically go counterclockwise, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And they usually use Roman numbers for these, Roman numerals. So for the next problem, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to decide based on that. So for number 7, we have 3.6, negative 2. So we start at the origin. We use x first, so we're going positive, so we go right. So we go about 3.6 would be right about there. And then 2 down. Negative 2 means go down. So that point would be right there in this quadrant, which is quadrant 4. Okay. Then for our next one, we're going to have negative 4, negative 7. So we start at the origin again, backwards 4 for the negative 4, and then we go down 7. Negative 4, negative 7. So we're in this quadrant here. And once again, this was 1, 2, and this one right here is quadrant 3. So our answer for this one is quadrant 3. Then our next one is negative 3, 5. So start at the origin, negative 3, so we're going on the x line here, which is our line right here. So on the x line, we're going to go over to the negative 3, which is here. So we went backwards 3 places. And then we're going to go 5. So 5 on the y is up here. So therefore, we're going to go up. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be in quadrant 2. So once again, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. We start here because this is positive, positive. We said this one was negative, positive. This one was both negatives, backwards and down. This was forward positive and then down. So our first one is a positive negative, so that's why it's quadrant 4, positive negative. Next one, negative negative, that's quadrant 3. And this one, negative positive, backwards and up, takes us to 2. For number 8, we're simply going to plot these points on the coordinate plane. So our first one, A, is 6, 3. We start at the origin here, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to 6 on the x-axis. And then we want to go 3 on the y. 3 on the y is up here, which means we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3 up. So therefore, our first spot is going to be right here, A, over 6, up 3. So they're both positive, so positive 6 means we go forward 6, and then we're going to go up 3. So positive, so forward 6, up 3 for A. Now when we go to our next one, we go ahead and go to our next one. Our next one is negative 4, negative 1. So we start at the origin again, right in the center. Negative 4 on the x is here, and then negative 1 on the y is here. And another way we can do this is we can go, these two would meet right at that point, right there. So we could actually do it that way also, or we could just start at the 0, which is our origin, and go backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go down 1. So we're going to end right there. Okay? So our next one, and this of course is going to be B. Our next one is 3, 0. So for this one, we're going to start at the origin, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 forward, 0 up and down. So we're right there for C. So our last one here is negative 4, 2. Start at the origin. Negative 4 means we go backwards 4 places, but a positive 2 means we go up 2. So that's going to be to that particular spot right here. So right there, that's going to be D. So we have our different points. Now one thing you can notice for A, for instance, A, if we went down, it would point to a 6 on the X line and a 3 on the Y line. So that's where it gets the 6, 3. The next one for B, on the X line, which is here, it points to the negative 4. And that we always do X first, then Y. It's an ordered pair. And that points over here to a negative 1. When we do C, it on the X is exactly on the 3, and it points to the 0 on the Y. And then for D, it points for the X, it goes down to the negative 4. So we have a negative 4. And for Y, it points to the 2. So negative 4, 2.